back to Anything Alexia. My name's Alexia, and today we're gonna be watching another true story animation. And that story is called I Found a Hack That Lets Me Talk to Dead People. Excuse me, sir? I think that's one life hack that I don't want. 5-minute crafts. Can I return this one? But before we start today's video, I need you all to smash that like button, smash that like button, smash that like button. And if you want to join our amazing family, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button and turn on all of those notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, don't forget to follow me on my Instagram right down here so you can join the official after party.
I was every parent's dream child. As a baby, I only cried if I was hungry or tired.
You mean like every other baby on this whole planet? I don't think no baby is crying, worrying about no money or taxes. All they do is poop and sleep.
Sometimes my parents would open my bedroom door to find me in my crib, laughing at nothing. They always thought it was weird, but they appreciated it. They never lost sleep or fought over who had to wake up to feed me. My mom and dad believed that as I got older, I started to have imaginary friends.
I used to have an imaginary friend too. His name was Georgie, and he always convinced me to roll around in the mud outside. But after a couple years ago in our tragic mudslide accident, we don't talk about him anymore.
At the table, I'd always ask these friends if they wanted something to eat. And though I was an only child, I was never lonely. I was always having a conversation with someone they couldn't see. My friends were not imaginary to me at all. The one I spoke to the most was a boy named Paul. He appeared to be about my age. We spoke about everything and played for hours. My parents pretended to acknowledge Paul, so I was pretty sure that everyone else could see him too. But I always found it strange that nobody else could see him.
Didn't you just say that you thought your parents could see him too? And that they even talk to him just like you do? And now you're saying that you don't know why nobody else can see him? Girl, not gonna lie, this video's getting a bit confusing. But I do want to figure out this life hack, so let's continue.
And that he never ate or went to the bathroom. We liked many of the same things, and he'd often laugh while we watched TV because according to him, we didn't have that strange box with the people inside in my time. I always wondered what he meant. My parents realized that I had a condition before I did. I was playing outside when I met a lady sitting in our garden. She was knitting and humming. And right away, I felt comfortable with her, like I had known her all my life.
Girl, maybe that's because she's actually your real grandma and not just one of your imaginary friends. Wait, but you think your imaginary friends are real? So then even if she's your imaginary friend as your grandma, does that mean she's actually your real grandma? Oh, I'm confused.
Hello, who are you? I said to her. She looked up at me and smiled. Oh, Kelly, I'm your grandma. Can you please tell your mother that I left something for her in the last drawer of her bedroom dressing room table?
I don't want to say that I called it or nothing, but I called it. Just saying though, no big deal.
Why don't you come inside and talk to her? I asked. Well, they can't see me, she continued smiling and knitting, and I ran off to tell my mom. Mommy, Grandma said that she left something for you in the bottom drawer of your dressing table, I said. Grandma? Are you okay, sweetie? Where did you see her? She asked. She's sitting in the garden, knitting, I said. Stop your silly games. My mom started, then looked like she'd stopped to think for a while. Can you tell me what she looked like, Kelly? She asked. Well, she has a round, friendly face and a lovely smile. She didn't look as old as normal grandmas looked. She was wearing a blue and purple dress, and she had a kind voice. Oh, and she smelled like cinnamon, I replied. My mom looked shocked.
My mom looked shocked because she hates cinnamon. And she also hates the color purple too. Stupid cinnamon, what did it ever do for us? Except give us cinnamon rolls. Ooh, those are good. Add a little icing on top and I'm hungry.
My mom looked shocked, and I could have sworn that her eyes began to fill up with tears. Later, I heard her talking to my dad in their room. She described her perfectly, and she sounded like she was wearing her favorite dress, the blue and purple one. I went to search the last drawer of the dressing table, and I found a locket I thought I had lost. Look, when you open the locket, you can see a picture of me with my mom. It's my most treasured possession. My dad didn't say anything for a while. Then he said, well, I've heard of kids having supernatural experiences like that. Do you think we should try to explain it to her or get her some help? My mom said nothing. I didn't even know what supernatural meant. I walked away and went to play checkers with Paul. Much later in my life, I found out that none of my 4 grandparents were alive. I only realized that I had a condition when I was about 12 years old. I don't know why I never found it strange, but Paul had remained the same age. He was still a small boy, and I was taller than he was. He didn't seem to mind, and we were still best friends.
Things were going good until eventually I became a little older and became his grandma. And then when I got a little older after that, things really started to go downhill when I became his great-grandma. Things just got weird then.
Anyway, one afternoon I was walking home after school with some girls in my class. One of the girls, Jasmine, had an idea. Hey, why don't we take a different path today? I'm tired of the same old walk. I know another way for us to get home, she said. We all agreed and followed her. As we walked, I noticed a cemetery in the distance. I had never been to one before, but I had seen them on TV. As we walked closer, I noticed many balloons and smiling people. There was also music and dancing. Hey guys, it looks like there's a party over there. Do you want to check it out? I asked. Where? Said Jasmine. I pointed to the cemetery and they all started laughing. There's nothing there. Good one, Kelly, Jasmine laughed. I thought they were the ones joking with me because I couldn't understand how they couldn't see it too. I took out my phone and decided to take a picture to save the weird memory. However, when I checked the gallery to see the picture I had saved, the cemetery looked completely empty. I don't understand this. I see people over there, but I don't see them in the picture, I said, sounding like I wanted to cry, because honestly, I did. I was really confused.
Ooh, girl, that's probably the dead people that nobody else can see, but you can. I don't know if it's the smartest idea to tell your friends about it, because they just gonna think you're crazy. I mean, you are crazy, but you don't want other people to know you're crazy. You know what I mean?
We seriously can't see anything over there. And that is a really weird place to see people, or for people to have a party. Why would people have a party in a cemetery? Maybe you can see dead people, Jasmine laughed. I froze for a while. What if I really could? I'm going to go over there and talk to them, I said. No, the girl shouted and pulled me away until we were far away from the cemetery. That afternoon when I got home, I had a long conversation with Paul. I told him what I had seen in the cemetery and what my friends had said. You didn't know I was dead? He asked.
Wait, what? Did he just say dead? Oh wait, we already knew that. But she didn't know that, and we're gonna see that too? I don't know, family. I'm still confused. What do I know?
You didn't know I was dead? He asked. What? I replied. Well, look at me. I don't change my clothes. I don't eat. I don't grow. I died of a fever in 1865, he said. It took me a while to fully grasp the reality of my ability. When I became more comfortable, I started to boast about it. I boasted so much to my friends that one day Jasmine had a crazy suggestion. Kelly, if you can really talk to dead people, why don't you break into the haunted mansion down the street? The house she was referring to had been deserted for years. It was alleged that a family was murdered there, and as a result, no one wanted to go anywhere near there. I knew it would probably be a crazy experience for me, but I agreed to do it.
What, Jasmine? Are you serious? Just because you can see dead people doesn't mean that somebody alive can't still... You might be able to see ghosts and stuff, but you're gonna become one if you put yourself in these kind of sketchy situations. I'm disappointed in you, but kind of excited to see what happens. So let's continue.
I met my friends on a Saturday afternoon, and we walked to the house. They all stood outside looking worried. Are you all going to make me go in there by myself? I asked. Okay, we will come with you, but we'll stand very close to the door, Jasmine replied. The girls walked with me to the entrance. The door was unlocked, so I opened it and walked inside. Ew, it looks horrible in there, Jasmine squealed. But I saw nothing horrible. The house looked very clean, modern, and luxurious even. I saw maids walking up and down the stairs. Some were polishing banisters, others were mopping the floors. I walked further inside and a man tapped me on the shoulder. He was dressed in a black suit and he looked like he might be a butler. How can I help you, dear? Are you lost? He said. Oh, no, I didn't think anybody lived here. I'm sorry, I replied. Well, don't be sorry. Why don't you come talk to Mrs. Bentley? She owns this house, but she's often very lonely because nobody ever comes to visit, he said. Sure, I replied hesitantly. I looked back at my friends who looked worried, and then it dawned on me that they could only see an empty old house. I told them I'd be right back, and I followed the butler.
Wait, so first she can see dead people, and now she can see dead furniture too? I mean, if it means going from a dusty old room to a decked out expensive mansion, I'm in. Maybe she can find somebody else who also can see the dead, and then she can sell them this mansion for a couple bucks of extra profit. That went from rags to riches real quick.
He led me to a very cozy living room, and a very kind old lady was sitting in an armchair rocking back and forth. "Hi, dear. I'm so happy that someone has finally come to visit me," she said. She seemed really friendly, so we spoke for a long time. She told me that she was a nurse during the Second World War, and that she had died a peaceful death in her house. "So, what about all the stories about this house being haunted because of some weird murder?" I asked. "I know nothing about that. I guess people just made it up," she replied. I suddenly remembered that my friends were still waiting for me. I thanked her for her hospitality and said I'd come again to visit. "Whoa, you were so brave! We went into the dark room and you were there for such a long time. We almost left you there," Jasmine said. "I don't see any darkness at all. This place is amazing. The people are so friendly," I replied. They just stared at me with their eyes wide open. As I continued growing, I began to use my ability to help me throughout my life. Paul helped me a lot. I remember the first boyfriend I had at high school. His name was Rick, and I thought that he was the best thing that had ever happened in my life. We spent a lot of time together, but I never told him the truth about my rare condition. One day, I began to suspect that he was seeing somebody else because I found some shiny hair clips in his backpack. I asked Paul to follow him around to investigate for me. Paul found out that Rick was really seeing someone else. He caught them going to the movies together, and they even kissed. When I told Rick about this, he was shocked and totally spooked out that I knew all the details. That wasn't the end, though.
Oh no, that wasn't the end at all. Then Paul wanted to get his real revenge and ended up haunting him in his sleep for the rest of his life. And that's what you get for being a cheater.
That wasn't the end, though. I asked Paul to follow him home several times to just throw things around the room while he was sleeping to freak him out. That was how I got my revenge. After that, I continued to ask Paul to help me to find out about the people I had got into relationships with. He's always been a great help. I'd always go visit Mrs. Bentley too, but I made sure that no one was looking when I went into the house. I didn't want to develop a reputation as a weird girl who broke into abandoned houses. I talked to her more than I talked to my own parents. She always gave me good advice and guidance as my life was extremely confusing. One afternoon, she really helped me to discover what I wanted to become in life. "I believe that everyone should use their strengths and abilities for good. You have that ability that most people do not have. What can you do to help the world?" she said. I sat and thought for a while, and then it struck me. I would be a great crime investigator. I could speak to murder victims and find out exactly what happened. Then I'd be able to bring their killers to justice. After high school, I decided to do a major in criminal justice and forensic science at college. Today, I'm one of the best investigators in the country. Nobody but me really knows how and why I'm so good at my job. It's great, though.
Excuse me, miss? We all know why you're great at your job. Because you can talk to dead people and other people can't talk to dead people. Remember that? But family, that's all the true story animation that I have for you today. If you liked today's video, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you want to join our amazing family, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, turn on all post notifications so you won't miss any of our videos. Also, don't forget to go follow me on my Instagram right down here to join our official after party. I love you all so much. And I'll see you all in the next video.